Welcome back to my channel. If you're new, don't forget to like and subscribe and check out my previous videos. For this video today, we're going to be going over loops. Loops are a programming structure that repeats a sequence until a specific condition is met. In Python, there are three different kinds of loops. There are while loops, for loops, and nested loop. The first one we're going to be going over is the while loop. A while loop executes a set of statements as long as the condition is true and the Boolean condition is met. So let's create a variable called x and give it a value of 5. And to start the while loop, you use the keyword while x is less than 10 semicolon print x. And then let's increment x by 1 each time till we get to 10. So in order to do that, we do x plus or equal to 1. And when we run this, we should see 5 all the way till 9. And we don't see 10 because 10 is not less than 10. In order to see 10, you can either use your plus or equal to sign and you see 10, or you can just increase it to 11 and you see everything but 11. Now the next loop we'll be going over is a for loop. Okay. A for loop is used for iterating over a sequence that is either a list, a dictionary, or a string. Let's start with a variable and name it name. And let's give it a string of fa. And then for loop is started using the for keyword for x in name, print x. Now what this is going to do is print out each letter in this name right here. So when we print it out, there it is, we should see fa. Now I want us to go through looping a string. So let's loop in a string. And let's create a variable called name. And let's give it a string subscribe to fa of saga. For x in name, print is the current word is, give it a space, and to add that we do plus x. And when we run this, we should see each word. So current word is subscribe, current word is to. So that's what this whole code right here is, exactly what you're seeing, looping through a string. Now I want to move on to the nested loops. And nested loops basically are loops inside of a loop. We're going to go over a nested for loop. And a nested for loop allows us to get every piece of information, every piece of combination of an item in multiple lists. So let's create a list called adjectives. And let's get a string of adjectives. Let's go red, shiny, and let's go big. And let's get some now. Let's create a variable called nouns. And let's get a string of phone, computer, and table. Now we'll use a for loop because there's a nested for loop for adjective in adjectives, semicolon. Now to use a nested for loop, you use another for loop inside of a for loop. So for now in nouns, let's print adjectives, comma, and when we print this, we should get every combination. We should get red phone, red computer, red table, shiny phone, shiny computer, and so on. There we go. There we go. So as you can see, we see red phone, red computer, red table, shiny phone, shiny computer, shiny table. Now in loops have control statements, and these statements are used to change the execution from its normal sequence. These statements are break statement and the continue statement. So let's start with the break statement first. Let's create a variable called name, and let's give it a subscribe to FA. And let's go for X in name, print X. And if X is equal to FA, let's break. So what this is doing is the break statement stops the loop even if the while condition is true and transfers the next statement. So let's put a comment to let us know what exactly the break statement does. So this, when I print this out, this should print out, this should forgo the, I forgot the console column. This should print subscribe to FA, and it should leave out everything after FA. So you shouldn't see this last Osagai on there. Let me reformat the file and I print it. Subscribe to FA. So it lives out everything after FA. For example, if I make this to be 2, it should see only subscribe to. You shouldn't see FA Osagai on there. So even though the condition is true, it will still stop the loop and break out of it and transfer to the next statement. Now, another example of this, let's create a variable called I and give it a value of 5. And let's use a while loop like we used in the beginning. While I is less than 10, print, what's that? Print I. If I is equal to 7, if I is equal to 7, print, let's break. And then let's increment I by 1. So I plus or minus 1. And then let's get a print statement that says finished with the break statement. There you go. And when we see this, it should print out 5, it should print out 6 and 7, but it should stop. It shouldn't print out 8 or 9 because we're breaking, we're stopping the loop, even though the condition is true. 5, 6, 7. Now it should print out 8 or 9, but we don't see 8 or 9 because we broke out of the condition. So that's how the break statement works. The next loop statement we're going to go over is the continue. And the continue, basically we can stop the iteration and continue to the next. Basically means forget about this loop and go into the next one. So let's create a variable called word_list. And let's get it to be subscribe to FA Osagai. And for name in word_list, semicolon, if name is equal to FA, make sure you don't forget semicolon, continue, and then print name. Now, what is this going to do? This is going to print out subscribe to. It's not going to print out FA, but it'll continue on Osagai. So it should print subscribe to Osagai. So when we print this, subscribe. Oh, there you go. I messed up the spelling. So yeah, that's the thing with Python. It's very case sensitive. So subscribe to Osagai. Now the very last thing I want to go over is the else statement. Okay. And how the else statement works, let's create a variable called I and give it a value of 5. And let's use while, a while loop. while I is less than 5, or actually while I is less than 10, print I. And let's increment I by 1. Let's add 1 to I each time. And else is why else print I am not less than 10. And when we print this, we should see 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then once it gets to 9, it should print I am not less than 10, because the next number after 9 is 10, and 10 is not less than 10. And that'll be it for this loop video. The very next video I'll be going over is the functions video. So tune in. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on your post notifications. Thank you.